Good afternoon, traders. This is a live trade recap. I took 2 trades this morning at the market open. That means that we have done 101 trades of our mid-cap market open test trading. The test is complete. We'll take a look at the 2 trades today. I wish that I ended the test green, but it's just not the way it works. If you saw my video from yesterday, we missed a easy one and done to our trade by 1 minute. And that's just the way it goes. The main thing is that you stick to the plan no matter what. That way your data actually means something. So now I can go over all of this data at the end of the week, and I'll publish a video on Sunday, and we can talk about everything we've learned after these 100 trades, which is quite a lot. Not the trades, the amount that we've learned. Okay, so MARA, that was the first thing that popped up on my screener that met all of the chart criteria. In fact, I think it was the only thing that really was on the screener at the open that met the chart criteria. So I'm marking out the previous session high, which was established late in the pre-market at 36.84. So it clearly broke out above that level, quite a ways above that level. So it's looking pretty strong. If I was just looking clearly at the, or solely, I should say, at the candlesticks, I wouldn't be too happy about taking a trade on this because of the range of these candlesticks, but that is not really part of the plan or the strategy. It's really just to look at the price levels that are broken and to enter on pullbacks and disregard the way the candlesticks look. So let's take a look at what happened here. I just don't want to muddy up the strategy with too many details. There's quite a few already. I think it's over, 10,000 words or something like that, the plan, the trading plan. So you start adding more and more details, then it gets harder and harder to follow and harder to know if what you're doing really works. If you can't execute the plan, then the plan is really meaningless. So here I have marked out the bottom of the ABCD pattern with this red line. If the price comes down below that on this pullback, then I can't take a trade. But as long as it stays above it and a 1 minute candle makes a new high, I can get into the trade. So let's take a look here. So I just isolated it to one chart because there was nothing else really showing up. So here is the entry. So I'm hovering over this candle here, or I was. Let me get back to where I was hovering over it. Okay, right here, and the high was 37.12, and then this thing broke out above, this candle broke out above the previous high. So that triggered my entry. I got in. Of course, it flushes down right away. Whether it does or not doesn't matter. What you should always do, try to get in the habit of moving that stop loss up right away to near the appropriate level. And then after you've got it very close, then you can check to make sure or adjust it if needed, because if you don't do that and the stock does flush down against you, you could be taking a much larger loss. So, the candlestick thing is pretty debatable on a setup like this because the tails are generally on the bottom. Obviously, there's some topping tails up here, but the size of these bottoming tails is huge, and that indicates buyers. So, again, that's not really part of this strategy or the plan, but just kind of explaining what I'm seeing. So anyway, so now, of course, I'm using my 2R calculator, which if you're interested, you can download from patreon.com/tradingarmor. All I have to do is put in my entry price, my stop loss, and then it calculates my profit target for me. And that's it. So now this trade is done with. It takes care of itself. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to do anything. And the bracket orders will do their thing without me. So let's see what happens. Again, based on all of the trades I've taken so far with this plan, I expect the first trade to fail. It only works about 30% of the time. But once I was in, halfway into this test, there was no reason to change the requirements for the first trade, because then the remaining first trade of the test would not really be the first trade, if that makes any sense. So you have to make sure not to change the criteria too much, otherwise the data, it becomes a different test entirely, is basically what I'm saying. So there, the first trade failed as expected, and then I get in for the second entry as soon as a 1 minute candle makes a new high, as long as the price has not come down and broken the ABCD pattern. So looking good so far. And let's see, the candlesticks looked a little bit glitchy today, I have to say, but I'm not really that concerned with it right now. It did not cause a false entry or anything like that. Okay, here's what I'm talking about. So you see the top range of this candle, and then, no, actually that looked fine. I think I just missed it on the original. It happened so quick, that price moved so quickly that I just didn't see it. So it's not a glitch. So anyway, I did get triggered at the end of this candle. I didn't quite make it in until this candle started forming. And I got some slippage on the way in. None of it matters in the end. And then my stop loss, because I got triggered on this candle, is really the low of this red candle, which I'm hovering over right now. So again, get that stop loss in place very quickly, and then nail it down exactly where it needs to be, and then you just leave it alone. So here's my entry price, 36.84, my stop loss price, and then that makes my profit target 37.60. So just fast forwarding here, I've got all the orders in place now, looking like, oh, it might actually work out at this point, but then nope, it just reverses, comes down, and stops me out. So just very volatile price action. Nothing I can do about it. It met all of my criteria, met my plan 100%. And this trade ended up failing. This is the second trade, but you'll see what happened and why I had to stop trading is the price did fall below point A of the ABCD pattern. So there it is right there. It broke the level. So my plan says once that happens, I stop trading for the day. So unfortunately, we could have ended yesterday if I didn't miss the MRO trade on a one and done 2-hour trade, go out with a bang. That would have been awesome. But this is real trading. And of course, it's easy to go back and pick any chart and say, oh, there's my setup. This is how I would have traded it. It would have went to my profit target. My plan works. But there's also the factor of how many of those trades are you going to miss, and when you miss those easy trades, maybe the trades you do take don't work out. So there's a lot to it, obviously. So anyway, we are all done with the trading plan. I'll go over the spreadsheet over the weekend, and I'm going to start my small cap test trading tomorrow. And I will say that none of these entries would have been allowed on the small cap test trading strategy. So it's a much more strict strategy than the mid cap because of the inherent volatility of small caps. It's going to take longer for setups to happen. So most of the trades will be a little bit later in the morning. And hopefully we'll see a positive result from it. But either way, we're going to learn a lot. I learned so much during these 100 test trades, and it cost very little money to run these 100 trades. I think maybe around $4 after 100 trades is what we ended up spending. So well worth it. And there's no other way to learn than like trading with real money on real charts in real time. So that's it. So as always, go into every single trade with a plan, stick to it no matter what, always take your stop losses, honor your profit target, and in the long run, you should be green. And one last thing, if you've been watching these videos since I've been doing these test trades, I really appreciate it and appreciate all the comments. They're usually very thoughtful and thought-provoking, and that's always a good thing. And so if these have been helpful to you, please hit the like button. If you haven't done so already for some reason, subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow for our first video of small cap test trading. Take care.